Hi, I'm Dr. Molly with Your Goals Physical Therapy. This video is made for all the runners out there who are trying to improve their breathing. Whether you're new to running and you're just figuring out that every step that you take feels like all the air is being sucked out of your lungs, or if you're a seasoned runner and you're just trying to improve your time or run for longer distances, this video is perfect for you. So in this video, I'm going to go over how, the mechanism of breathing. So how it is that we breathe, and then I'm going to talk about all the other ways that breathing can affect your running. So it's not just that you don't feel like you have air. There can be other things that are happening because your breathing is not on point. So let's get started. Now, what is breathing? Now, most of us think, I've been breathing my whole life. All you do is inhale. It's easy, your lungs expand, everything is great. But you'd be surprised to find out how many people breathe with their accessory muscles or don't fully engage all the muscles that they need to in the correct pattern. And what do I mean by that? So in normal breathing, how we're supposed to do this, if you watch babies breathe this way naturally. When you take a deep breath in, your diaphragm goes down, which then makes your belly come out and your rib cage expand. So your diaphragm is a dome muscle that when it contracts and it helps, it actually pops down and makes a dome, which then pushes all your stomach contents out. And when you exhale and all the air goes out of your lungs, that diaphragm pops back up and helps all the air come out. But we live in Houston, which means that all of us have some amount of allergy issues. And what that means is that while you cannot breathe through your nose, you have to alter how you breathe. And for most of us, we default to upper chest breathing. So that's that breathing where you use your accessory muscle. So you're actually using your neck to help lift your chest up. You're no longer really utilizing that diaphragm in the way that it was intended, which then makes other issues, right? Because so we are in some points supposed to run with our accessory muscles, but that's a full-on sprint. You've been running for a really long time. This is these are like the guys that you pull in at the last minute, right? They're your crew that help you finish the job. They should not be starting the job for you. And so that is what's happening for a lot of people. The other things to think about is that as that pressure change occurs, other muscles have to adapt to keep the same amount of pressure. So if you think that by changing the shape of this whole torso, you're going to be increasing or decreasing the amount of pressure in your trunk. And so other things happen at the same time that diaphragm goes up and down to help adjust for that. Your pelvic floor, yes, men, even your pelvic floor helps with this. It helps bend and so basically the same thing the diaphragm your diaphragm does. It goes up and it goes down. There's a little bit of a difference with that, with how those muscles are moved. And then your abdominal muscles and even your back muscles help you with breathing. And again, we just don't think about that. So if any aspect of that is just not working, if it's not working well, or if it's not working together, then you can have what they call dysfunction breathing. So you're not actually expanding and contracting as much as is optimal. This may be perfectly normal and perfectly fine for you while you're walking around in your everyday life. You may have never had any idea that something is going on with your breathing if you weren't trying to run at a faster pace or run at all, right? And so how is it that you fix that? We'll talk about that in a little bit. But one thing to think about, if you're like, this lady's a little bit nuts, who really cares? If breathing doesn't bother me any other time, why should I go out of my way to train how I breathe? Well, it's this. As I was just saying, if everything in your trunk is not able to stay stable, or there's some things that are not coordinating correctly while you're breathing, it can affect other things. Your abdominal muscles, if they're not contracting correctly while you're breathing, then that means they're probably not engaged fully to help you stabilize your pelvis. If you're not able to stay stiff while you're breathing, so you're able to tighten up your stomach and keep your torsos tight, then are your shoulders collapsing forward? And that's going to make your lungs, make it even harder for your lungs to breathe. It also makes problems for your shoulders and your neck. If you're starting off by breathing like this, your neck muscles are going to get very, very tired before anything else does. And that'll display in many ways. Like you'll round your shoulders, you'll do other things. So you go from a mild dysfunctional breathing to now your whole mechanics of your run may be in jeopardy, because if we're not able to stabilize and breathe at the same time to help equate for all that pressure changes that have to happen, then other things fall to the wayside also. If you can't stabilize your pelvis, now your hips and your legs don't have anything that they can power off through. Your shoulders don't have that stability that they need to help you with this. You're not going to be stabilizing against that shift right to left. So all these other things can be playing into effect, and you thought it was just your breathing. I know, it's amazing. How intricate is our body? It's absolutely amazing. So what is the best way to help your breathing? One, it's practicing what they call belly breathing. So that idea that you're going to expand your trunk when you inhale, when you inhale, your trunk comes out, and when you exhale, your trunk should come in. So you want to breathe out in this whole area, and then when you breathe, so you want to breathe in through everything in here, right? So your rib cage, everything should expand. And when you breathe out, everything should contract. Everything should expand, and everything can contract. If you can get that to work on your own, then I would just keep practicing that. And that's how you want to practice. And I would practice that at home on, your off time. And then that way when you're running, you're not having to pay attention to it so much. But there are many reasons why what I just demonstrated is dramatically difficult for people. Between your abdominal strength, your ribs being stiff, just coordination problems, pelvic floor issues, a lot of things can play in, because again, you're using so many muscles to help you do this. So if you're trying to improve your breathing and you've been practicing and you've been trying different things and you've already got yourself on a good overall strengthening program, you've been lifting weights, you've been stretching, you've been doing all these things, and you cannot master this, the fastest way to get this to work is to come and work with me. Because we're going to look at exactly how you're moving and exactly what's happening with you, and a little bit about your history. So some people have a very extensive history, some people have no history. But we're going to look at your history. We're going to come up with a specific plan for you to help make sure that everything in your abdomen is working effectively to get you back to running at the pace that you want, and without feeling like you have to suck air through a straw. Wouldn't it be nice to be able to go decide you're going to run your 3 miles or your 10 miles and you're just able to go do it, and you don't feel like you're going to get that stitch in your side? You don't feel like you're just wasted at the end. At the end, you're like, yes, I could have gone more because I was able to breathe. If that's what you're looking for, give me a call. I have 2 ways that we can set this up that I'm offering right now. One is a discovery visit. A discovery visit is a little sit-down chat. We're going to talk. We're going to figure out what your goals are and talk about where you are and maybe some problems that you're having. And at the end of the discussion, we'll have an idea of whether or not I can help you. And then whatever the next steps would be for you going forward for us to work together. The other one is a little bit more detailed, a full body diagnostic. So with that, there is a little bit of a charge. It's $20. It does get very specific though. We are going to look at how you're moving, your flexibility, just a general gross overview of how you're moving. And that way we can make sure that I'm able to help you get to where you want to go. So if you've already tried other people and you're like, I really want to see what you're going to tell me, maybe that's different than other people, this is a good way to come in. We can meet, we chat, we move around a little bit and see how that would work for you. And then we would determine what you need to do to go forward, with whether that's with me or with somebody else, with both of those choices. So again, the discovery visit is a free 20-minute conversation to make sure that we would work well together. The full body diagnostic is $20. Again, another 20-minute session, but we'll know what we need to work on for the evaluation and going forward. So I hope that you're having a great day, and I hope this information was helpful. Please share it with anybody who you think might benefit from learning a little bit more about how to breathe and get back to running. Have a lovely day.